morning, Five Ruffians, and welcome to a craft live and chat. I have second I just jump over to cameras, it tells me that it's not working. So how weird is that? So bear with, I'm going to see if I can change some stream settings. I don't know if I can. Not while I'm currently live. No, I cannot. So this is going to be painful. I tried to change a thing or two to make it good for us, and it has not worked. So I'm going to switch back to the other screen and see if it will let me, if it will. Alrighty, let's see how this works this time. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. It's gonna be a bit blurrier. I had to drop down some resolution. I'm sorry about that. I am trying to work out the best way to give us the best quality stream and the best quality video without it being all glitchy and nightmare-y. But anyway, look at this, guys. I'm crocheting and I'm so happy to have a hook back in my hand. I don't think I've been quite so happy for so long. I've got a little thing on my arm, if you can see this. It's just to stop this tendon from being a butt. Yeah, it's fantastic. Let me have a look here. Technology is not my friend lately. It really hasn't been, Andrea. This shed blocks internet signal, so I've been having to do workarounds, and it's not the funnest. Let's just go with that. Not the funnest. We can't even blame the weather. No, we can't. It's a beautiful day here in Queensland, Brisbane even, Australia. It's fantastic. Everyone can hear me and see me. That's fantastic. That's so good. Alright, I've just got to swap my chat here. Mine says top chat, so I'm just changing it to live chat so I can see every message. So if you guys have got the top chat option, you might be missing the occasional message. Is that Abby's blankets? The colours are totally blown out. Yes, it is Abby's blanket, and yes, the colours are totally blown out, and that's because of what I'm having to deal with resolution wise. So if I hold it up here, this one might be a bit more how we are actually running. I might even just see if I can pull some light down. Hang on. So I can't tell just yet if that light's making a difference to you guys. I see something different on my screen than what you guys see. Gamer Widow says it must be here because I actually break things. Gamer Widows, it's not you, lovely. It really isn't. It's me. It's totally me. So it says offline now. It shouldn't be offline. Can someone tell Rebecca to refresh her screen? That would be great in case it breaks. Oh no, I'm totally not going to touch anything on the computer until our 90 minutes is up. I just draw. That's fine. I'll just draw. Yeah, so I have my phone here sitting on my mobile network using up all my precious data. So yes, so if you see a little black thing pop in, it's just my guard. So the thing with this is, what it does is it puts pressure on something, not a doctor, and makes it so that it takes longer for me to be in pain, but it also doesn't cause damage. It actually makes sure that I'm healing better. So that is all the wins. I am going to be doing a bit of crochet and then putting it down and keep going, and see how I go again. I'm not going to push it too hard. Let me have a look here. Did you get your sweater back from Abby? I did. She has put in an order for her own. She'd like one with slightly smaller sleeves. Thank you, Mum. I'm going to sneeze, you guys. I'm so sorry. Oh, goodness me. Hi, Pam. Welcome to the chat. Andrea says, 90 minutes, didn't you see the petition? 2 hours. I can't do it 2 hours today, guys. I can't. Sorry. Total sneezing. 15-minute timer. No, I'm not on a 15-minute timer anymore. I'm on go until you notice it and then stop. Don't wait for pain, but notice it. So, thank you, Marnie. I appreciate the blessing. So, you guys, I've got tissues right here. Hang on. Can I lean off camera? Yes, I can, sort of. Okay, thunderstorm asthma warning went out over here this morning. Yeah, you guys have got some serious weather happening down in Victoria. I was watching it on the news. Someone's got buffering. Sorry, Rebecca. I can't do a lot. I really do try my hardest to make sure that this is as good for everybody as possible. But I honestly don't always win. Do I have my new gadget set up? I absolutely do. I'm going to move my camera. Like, you ready? Let's hope I don't wreck my shot. But yes, I have my new gadget set up. It's very easy to swap the cameras from it. So currently it's got a webcam on it, and then I can easily pop my other camera back onto it for when I want to do other shots. So when I want to make videos and things like that. So I'm getting ready to get my mojo ready to get back into doing I've got some product reviews I want to do. I've got a couple of tutorials I want to teach in knitting and crochet. So, you know, it's going to be fun. We've got some good stuff coming up for over Christmas. Rebecca's blaming the government for the buffering. That's totally fine by me, Rebecca. I have no problems with you doing that. Naomi's loving this blanket. Thank you, Naomi. The colours are a little off for you guys. I'm sure there's some stuff in my Instagram feed already, but I will add in another pic so you can see where I'm, you know, what I'm doing. It's just a really basic chevron blanket. It's nothing scary or hard. It's just a bit of counting that I always mess up. I constantly, for some reason, I cannot count to 6. I don't know why, but I can't. And yeah, it seems to be a problem that I have. And other than that, it's a great blanket. That's more to do with me than the blanket. So yeah, I just realized if I had just moved my camera in here, you could have seen it swivel easier than if I, oh, hang on, come back down, little dude. There you go. I'm still learning where it likes to be positioned, because the webcam's a lot lighter than my other camera. So it does want to just boing up a little. So yeah. Yeah, good point, Kim. Good point. Chintamani says she's at her parents' with MBN. So yeah, it's oh, look at that. Thank you, whoever that was. My phone is on vibrate, which I need to stop because that just sent shakes through my entire table. Good morning, Stacey. Welcome to the chat. Let me just count here, 2, 4. I'm crocheting. I'm so excited to be crocheting. I am going slowly. I'm not crocheting fast because, oh, hang on. I'll just put that back in the shot there. Because I don't want to anger my elbow too much. I found that if I move too quickly and keep moving too fast too often, it does get a bit upset and has a bit of a sooky hissy fit. So let's not do that. Tamantha says, I lose the ability to count sometimes too. Oh, it's just frustrating because then you're just like, there's no excuse. I just literally didn't count to 6 and now I have to pull it out. Sally says, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Yes, please, guys, if that would be great. What that actually does, especially while we're live, is if you're thumbs upping, it'll actually send some, hopefully, the theory is that it sends more notifications out to those people that are subscribed to the channel, because it means that you guys are actually enjoying what I'm doing. But if you're not enjoying it, totally don't thumbs up. I understand. What have we got here? Adele is from the UK. Hi, Adele. Welcome to the chat. My neighbours have all just left their yard, so hopefully they won't be back for some time because that was quite loud. Maybe need a small weight when using the webcam. Yeah, Jackie, I was actually thinking about that this morning, but I didn't have one handy to play with, and we needed to go live, and I didn't want to be late and scare everybody to think that I wasn't going live today. We've had a few of our team not do their regular lives this week, so Stephanie had work commitments and couldn't go live, and I know Claire's been having problems with her going live, so I really wanted to make this live no matter how weak the signal or how blurry the image, so I'm sorry if it's extra blurry. One thing I did realize is after I shut down and restarted the stream, I had this, when this software closed, I realized there was a window behind it with the video running. I probably could have left it. We'll try it for next time. I'm going to be doing, now that I've worked out how to switch between the different softwares on this, I'm going to do another tech test over on Facebook at some stage. And we'll see how we go. We'll try and make this good. You guys that happen to pop in for the tech test, it's very, very helpful for me when you do that. I get lots of excellent information, so I really appreciate that. Marion says, we get the NBN in a few weeks. Don't know if I'm excited or not. Yeah, see, Marion, that's the thing. Some people get a fantastic experience with the NBN and some people just don't. So it's very weird. I'm not quite sure how you'll go, but fingers crossed you have a good experience. We are 12 meters from the node, and it drops down to close to ADSL2 speeds. Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. 12 meters, you should be getting like primo signal, honestly. Oh, I've just split my stitch. Like, good job, Chantel. Watch what you're doing. Stick one of your chicken weights on top of it. I probably should. Yeah, I probably should. Although it wouldn't really sit there. I need something that'll either hang, but that won't swing into the shot, or I need something that I can sit on the back of it and hold it down. Jackie says, I have a maths brain, yet there are times when I simply can't count the gym or casting on. Yes, I don't know what the deal is with that. I really don't, but I totally get it. Now, it's been a while since I've done this. It's 3 into the last one. So let me have a look here. So 2, 4, 5, and then 6, and then 3 into the last one. Game Widow says, a nose in my front lawn, but it's still patchy. Ah, that's so frustrating, isn't it? But let's not discuss the internet today. We're here. I'm going to try and be uber grateful. 1, 2. Can I count? Okay, so I can count, but it seems 1, 2, 3. Oh no, I'm good. Everything's fine. There's nothing to see here. I just gotta. For some reason, I thought that I had actually been doing rows in half double crochets rather than in double crochets. That would have been very bad. I would have pulled back totally. Hey Tammy Webb, welcome to the chat. So I don't actually have a list of things to discuss today because the truth be known, I didn't know if our stream would work or not. So I was more stressed out about getting everything up and running than I was about what we were going to talk about. So if you guys have a question, then make sure you pop it in the chat. I can see most things at the moment, so that's good. And yeah, so we can go from there. If you've got like crochet, knitting, spinning, probably not weaving. Weaving is not my best thing. I like to weave, but not my strength. Tote's not my strength. And I'm still learning lots of things. Blanket looks great. Attic's 24 ripple. No, it's not. It's just a basic chevron in a, like, I'm just doing 4 rows of each color in just a standard, like, check out the old book chevrons. So it's nothing fancy, nothing uber awesome or fashionable. Although it's totally fashionable, Abby. It's a totally fashionable blanket, and you'll love it and you'll want it on your bed. You can see I have got teens to deal with, or 18 to deal with. Gamer Widow's got a new toy yesterday. What kind of new toy did you get it? Are you using the big monitor again? Yes, I am. Sorry, I am. I'm reading from there, aren't I, rather than here. Yeah, I am. I could probably bring it over. Hang on. Let me see if that makes a difference. Boo, boo, boo. And there. The font's smaller. I could still read it, though. D. Thompson says she loves chevron. Jackie wants to know what your toy is. Everyone wants to know what the toy is now. You have to tell us what the toy is. You can't do that. That's not friendly. see, I think I definitely prefer it on the bigger screen. It's chopped off on this screen here. I know it makes no difference to you guys whatsoever, but it does make a difference to me. 1, 2, random thought, 5, 6. Exactly right, Marnie. That's exactly what happens when I am counting, or especially when I'm live streaming, because it's like 1, 2, read a comment, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's the problem. I do too many and have to pull back and then come back again, and you're just like, oh, did I just do this row? And the answer is yes, you did, but not properly. Kim's swapping over soon. Hopefully we all use the internet. Okay. So yeah, so I'm just getting through to here. I've got to keep reminding myself to crochet slowly. I just realized I just did a little zippy bit. I'm like, go slower, go slower. It is an interesting situation. Those of you in the US, what we're talking about is our Australian government decided in its wisdom to only run fibre optic cabling to our actual existing copper node. So every few streets there's this connection point where everyone's connections come in, and these things are underground and they get filled with water and they're copper and it's dodgy as. And so they ran this amazingly awesome technology to this old 1950s antiquated system, and then trying to patch the two together doesn't work. It's a nightmare. So yeah, so it's a big issue. Lots of people do not have quality internet in Australia. I remember when I first started looking into live streaming, and one of the first things I read was, if you don't get 5 megabits per second upload, don't bother trying. And at that point, and even still now, when you're on ADSL, which is the standard through the phone lines internet, in Australia you're capped at 1 megabit per second upload. So it was just like, wait, what? So I worked some workarounds, which is why we have a bit of a blurry picture and it's a bit hinky, and I have a better upload speed now using some other technology, but it's still not great. It's not the most awesome. So what have you guys all been doing craft-wise? I've been seeing some interesting projects hitting the Fiberific Finish Along group. So that has been pretty inspiring. It's one of those things, I think we're going to have to be like, when you finish a project, pop a link into your pattern, because everyone's like, oh my god, what did you do? I want to do that. I'm just seeing some old messages pop through. That 24 ripple has come back up again. So I don't know, is everything going okay, you guys? I might not be getting the most current messages. Is your internet free here? No, definitely not free. I just need to refresh my chat here. There seems to be a little bit of an issue, so I'm just going to look at the chat on my phone for a second. You have to pay through the noise, through the nose, absolutely. They're gluing copper to optic, basically, yeah. Andrea's blade on her rotary cutter is rusted. Ugh. Lindsay said, but there's no buffering. Well, that's what I'm hoping for, Lindsay. That's what I'm hoping for. Here we go. We're all up to date on the screen now. Inspiring, except you haven't posted any of your projects. Well, no, I haven't. It's because I've only finished the one and I haven't watched it yet, so it's not finished. So, you know, I'm not there. I'm not there yet. Oh, well, I suppose I haven't posted the photos of the things I want to finish either, because, you know, grr. Leanne Behrens is here. Hey, Leanne. Sally says she's been working on a Havana Cal and knitting a jumper, but I don't think that it's working fair. Maybe there's a different word there. Are you viewing Top Chat or Live Chat? Actually, you're right. Back to Live Chat again. When I moved it, it went to Top Chat, but it was also a bit behind. The chat needed refreshing. Let me have a look here. I've been started my second cot. I found that cheap colour cotton I needed yesterday, so I'm working on a doily. That's awesome. Cindy says all our private companies, so prices vary. Same here. Cindy, I'm not sure if you're in Australia or in the US, but yeah, same here. But the NBN network is owned by one company, so everyone has to pay like a flat rate, and then the other companies put their bid on top. So, oh yeah, thanks Jackie, you just explained all that. Well, Kim says, well, I guess you're not eligible for the prizes. No, I am not eligible for the prizes. Hi, Guarav. Guarav, sorry. Hang on, I just need a drink. Oh, it's coming out smaller, even though your gauge was correct. Oh, gosh. That's frustrating. That's really frustrating. Is there any possibility of discussing how to manage a fiber or a yarn stash, please? In how you want to manage it is in how you get through it or how to store it. Because there's that sort of two different topics. So let me know if you want to talk about how to use up your stash versus how to store it and look after it. Crocheting on the sway. Naomi's making a sway. I've got a sway in my little bag of tricks here, but I've realized I think the yarn, two of my yarn colors are too close together and it's not working, so I'm going to pull it apart and try again. But I've started my Segway socks the other night and realized I was making them too big, so I've had to pull them back as well. I'm good, thank you, Guarav. Marnie says, I'm working on a second sock and have a shawl and a sweater queued up and ready to go. We don't do that, Guarav. No sharing personal details in the chat. I'm working on my second sock and have a shawl and sweater queued up. Oh, I just read that one, I'm sorry. Rebecca says she's working on drawing out a pattern from her head. So that's cool. Hi, Classy Kim. Tamantha's just finished a scarf on her new to me loom, working on a coat for her daughter. Currently have second sleeve syndrome. Oh, I know that feeling all too well. It's terrible. It's terrible. Lindsay Chateau's working on an Ubuntu and also a knit sweater just to keep things interesting. Hang on, I just got to count 2, 4, 6. See, look, I did 7 again. 7. No phone, no photos. Oh, that's right, Leanne's phone. Leanne killed another mobile phone this week, you guys. So no phone, no photos, tablet photos. So can't join the UFO. Never mind, I'm enjoying looking at the others. Oh, I'm sorry, Leanne. Had to work out how to incorporate casting on 2 colours with Judy's Magic cast on. Is that for your design that you're working on? Because I don't like casting on with 2 colours. I'll be really, really honest. Darla's working on an amigurumi bunny. That's cool. Got birds and stuff flitting around out there. I've just actually started watching, speaking of birds flitting around, I just started watching that new Sabrina series on Netflix. Now, if you really loved the old series, you need to, like I did, you need to really disconnect the two. The character names are the same, and some of the heart behind it is the same, but it's very different. It's really it's shot a lot darker, like as in like lighting wise, it's a lot darker. And there's some like serious like witchy stuff going on, whereas the TV show before was a little bit lighthearted and corny. So it's still good. I'm enjoying it, but it's totally different. Amanda says, I have a severe case of second sock syndrome. I'll make it eventually. Amanda, I just about never make the second sock. I walk around in odd socks. I will make different socks using that same ball of yarn, so at least they're the same colour. Because I get bored. I get so bored. I think the only pair I've actually completed an entire pair of was the rainbow socks, because I was recording it for the Cal tutorials that I did. That's it. That's it. Game Widow says mini project bags for advent calendars and then 10 pudding project bags for a special order. No time to knit or crochet. Oh, this is about because tickle in my throat. I'm allowing myself to sit down and have my minutes of craft because I don't get it anymore. So, well, not anymore, but I haven't had it for weeks. So it's like I'm a bit behind in the projects I want to do. So yeah. Sally's just finished watching it. It's so different. It is so different, isn't it? I didn't like the first Sabrina. I found her a bit annoying. Look, I think you may actually like this new Sabrina because she's less annoying. And you actually sort of side with her more, I think. Plus they were out for Abby and she kept nagging. That could have been part of why those rainbow socks got finished. In saying that, she doesn't wear them. She just looks at them. Tell me about Patreon. Oh, Kim. Okay, guys. Kim, if you could pop a link into my Patreon page. I have a Patreon group for those of you that are interested. It's a way for you to support this channel in a monetary fashion, which your views are awesome. Don't get me wrong, but having the gear and the internet and what have you does all cost a little bit of money to run, and having you guys pop into Patreon and even donate $1 per month makes a huge difference. To put that into perspective, $1 from you guys per month equates to around 1,000 views on YouTube without skipping the ads. If you skip the ad, it doesn't count at all, so that's a little frustrating for everybody as well. Something that YouTube don't tell people is if you're trying to support as a creator and you want to watch their content, if you skip the ad before at least either the ad finishes if it's a short one or after at least 20 seconds, then there's nothing. So, and I don't do this for the money, but I would like to try and cover some costs, if that makes sense. I do this for fun, because I get to chat with you guys, but at the same time, you know, I'm taking time out of my workday as well, so I could be dying or other jobs. But anyway, not to make you feel bad. Let me have a look. Leanne says, lol, the fun, that's fun, just the one song. Yeah, it's very fun. I quite like it. She's appreciating the fine work of art they are. She is rather, Jackie. Yeah. Leanne says, oh, and thumbs up, everybody. It only takes a second. That's true as well. Gamer Widows asks, guess what I was gifted last week? Kim says, plus you get more percentage of the money than Super Chat. Absolutely. So Patreon's this amazing, the actual people behind Patreon were YouTube creators who realized that YouTube was skimming probably more off than they would like. And so these guys came in with this wonderful idea for a way for their supporters to create them. Jack Conti's a musician, so he made music and things like that. And so he decided to come up with this Patreon idea. Well, as he said, he didn't invent the idea. It's been around for a very long time, but in this format. Basically, Patreon take about 5%, YouTube take about 45%. So, you know, Patreon are better. From my perspective and from lots of people's perspective. Also, I make, I put posts over there, and I do try to make extra videos and what have you for people who are on Patreon. Also, last week we did a Q&A where I answered specific questions in detail from Patreon members. I've just watched Snowy just run down the driveway, so either she's about to bark. There we go. Someone must have dared to walk down our street. Nutter Butters? Gamer Widow did not get Nutter Butters. Spindles. She got 6 spindles. That's some serious spindle counts right there. Sorry, I just had to count my stitches. And then there's 6 spindles, and I tried to count thinking I had 6. 2, 4, 6, and I have 6 now. On Q Snowy, absolutely. Snowy is awesome. Look, I was so worried about her a couple of weeks ago, about how she was so sad. Her tail didn't wag. We lost, for those of you that don't know, our other dog, Mr. Georgie, he passed away. And she was just so terribly sad. And we were on the mad hunt to try and find a puppy or another small dog friend for her. Only for me to realise that in the 10 years or so it's been since I've acquired a dog, the whole dog acquisition process has changed. So apparently it's normal to pay $1,500 for a crossbreed dog that has no papers of any description. or a mixed breed dog rather than a crossbreed, I should say, to the point where sometimes they couldn't even tell you what the breed was. We were even looking at, we were especially looking at animal shelters and rescue places. It's not quite puppy season yet. The issue we have, the reason we want a puppy is we have chickens and cats, as well as a child. Well, she's 13, she's not little, but we need to train this dog to cope with all of these things. And most of the rescue dogs that we've seen were either big breed dogs, which we don't have the facilities for, or dogs that couldn't be with another dog, couldn't be with cats, couldn't be with children. And so, you know, even the other small breed dogs that were out there that were older, they had all these things that they couldn't do that meant that they couldn't fit into our household. So we thought we'll try and get a puppy so that we can train them, so that, you know, we can deal with it. But in the time it's taken for us to realise that we don't really want to spend $1,500. Even rescue dogs can be up to $500, which was a bit of a surprise. I grew up in an era where you needed a dog. You said, "Oi, neighbours, does anyone know anyone with pups?" And next thing you know, you had a choice of pups. Andrew says our dogs were $75 each from the RSPCA. They're crazy, but I love them. Yeah, we were looking at the RSPCA and everything was like $350, $380, and again with the no other dogs, or no children, or no chickens. So, and our chicken's free range around the yard, so the dog and the chicken are in the yard together at the same time. So, let's have a look here. Marnie says she's finally ordered her first supported spindle. She can't wait for it to get here. That is awesome. I can't wait for it to get here either. I hope you earburn us or something on Instagram, or however you're going to post the photo. I'd love to see it. Game Winner says one of them was a Snyder Turkish and a bearded dragon, Topwell with a dragon. Oh my gosh, you went cream of the crop, didn't you, Game of Widows? Fairy Ray says, right, Halloween is over for you already. That confused me. Yeah, Halloween was yesterday for us, all done and dusted. I've even pulled down the decorations. So yeah, Snowy was very funny. She sat at the fence and got so excited every time little kids ran up to the fence. And we're like, we would like trick-or-treatings, please. So Snowy was like, yes, you may have trick-or-treatings. Kim says, I have a theory that if you pay more for it, then you will appreciate it more and look after it better, and it will be less of a spontaneous purchase. Well, I'm going to be really honest. I can't afford that kind of money for a dog. So Snowy is slowly adjusting to being a single dog. So, and she's coping all right now. She's playing with her toys again, and she's got her little silly face back on, and she's, you know, she's getting around. She's getting better. I wouldn't say she's like right now. She's currently laid in the grass on her back, looking like a dead cockroach. And she's just looked at me like, "Don't tell people that, Mum. Don't tell people that." But yeah, Snowy does a very good dead cockroach. Someone should have told me I did 7. Like, you guys can see, right? Anyway, I'm not going to pick on you. That photo was cute of Snowy. Yes, it was. It was. I had to take it. She was totally adorable the whole time. Just sat there. Just sat there. We're having some issues with some buffering. So sorry, guys, if you have a problem. Not a lot we can do. That the charities are charging to help cover costs, which is fair enough, but still a slug of money. Yeah, and I understand why they're doing it. I mean, they've got like a lot of these dogs are coming through microchipped, vaccinated, desexed. That all costs money, and I don't mind paying $300-400 for a dog that has all of that done, because that's how much I'd have to pay to get all of that done. Like, to get a female dog desexed is like, there's no change from $350. So, you know, I don't mind paying a bit, but when you're getting a dog that's had its worming shots, and, you know, that's it, or maybe vaccinated, and they want $1,500 for it, you're just like, yeah, nah, I'm out. Kim says, considering the lag, I don't think there's any point in us telling you when you can't count. That's probably more true than I would care to admit, Kim. Yeah. Game Widow says our girl's about $450 to fix. Yeah. Yep. We only got one trick-or-treater last night. The kids were so happy because they got all the extra chocolates. Yeah. We didn't get a lot of trick-or-treaters, but yesterday afternoon I dropped Abby off at a friend's house, and a big group of them were trick-or-treating down this particular street that's known for being totally generous. Like, this whole street, basically they get the local council board them off because of all that, like, especially at Christmas with all the Christmas lights. Like, tour buses bring in bus loads, and you can't get within like a 3-street radius. You've got to park out and walk in. And they're starting to pick up Halloween as well. Halloween's not it's not very common here. Like, if you have, like, our street, there was one house in a street of, like, I don't know how many people are on my street, like 30 houses that did it, and that was us. So yeah, it's weird. Marion says, I reckon if either of our 2 dogs disappeared, the other wouldn't bat an eyelid. Well, I feel that way about Jazzy, our cat. She doesn't actually care that much. She would much prefer to be an only pet. So yeah, but yeah, trick-or-treating and Halloween is not a really big celebration in Australia. It's starting to get bigger. I have no issues with it. Doesn't bother me either way, except for the whole, you teach your kids all year round not to accept lollies from strangers, and then once you dress them up and send them out to knock on strangers' doors for lollies, that does stress me a little, but my daughter's much older now. So Naomi says, where I live is getting very popular. Must have had 100 kids knock last night. Marion says, we've got big gates and a press button. No trick-or-treaters for us. That's awesome. That's one way to deal with it. For sure, for sure. Waste a pumpkin for jack-o'-lanterns. Look, Abby bought a pumpkin out of her own money because it was $7 for this little pumpkin. And I refused to spend it. And then she forgot to carve it. So she's like, oh, man. So, because last year she carved it too early and it was rotten by the time it was Halloween time. But we saw this awesome picture for jack-o'-lantern pineapples and jack-o'-lantern watermelon. So next year we might do that, because then we can at least eat the watermelon. Fairy says, with all the street construction here, I didn't decorate or get candies this year. There are still a lot of kids out there tonight. Oh, because it's night time for you. It's like literally Halloween for you right now. I forgot. I totally forgot. Oops, go a bit slower. Was that on my Facebook post? Oh yeah, you had you baked your jack-o'-lantern. Was that right? 2, 4, 6. I can count. I can count. I'm very happy with myself. It's 8:40 here for Halloween night. Oh wow. Yeah, I basically binged Sabrina yesterday for Halloween. I was like, well, if I'm going to watch something for Halloween, I was a bit sore. I had physio in the morning and they gave me this then. And so yeah, it was a bit crazy. The pineapples were on yours. I'm not sure where I saw the pineapple. They came up in my feed a couple of times. I think I shared it at some stage. Let's have a look here. So, I'm just having a look here, just seeing if anything's going well. Everything's good. I'm going to... time zones is so confusing. Stephanie mentioned that they're going back an hour on the weekend, so her chats will be an hour later for us. Well, that actually works better for me, I think. I've been getting messed up by the Australian time zone so much, with all, like, the other chats that I do some, like, business mentoring chats and stuff, and some of those are just being so messed up. And I've got one that used to start at 1 o'clock, which was the perfect amount of time. You guys, we finish up here, I go and have a bit of lunch, I print out some orders, and I get settled down, and I do that for an hour, and then I finish packing the orders and get them ready to go. Well, it's still 1 o'clock, but the rest of the girls on the chat are an hour ahead, so it's 12 o'clock for me. So you guys, we finish up here at about 11:30ish, and then it's just like run just to get a fresh cuppa, go to the bathroom and come back and set up for the next chat. So it's like I'm not sure what I'm going to do, because I can't keep doing that. It's too much. It's too much. Running around like a loon. Too old for running around like a loon. I think Tammy posted to your Facebook page of the pineapples. Okay, cool. Leanne says, this said, I missed the update on your arm. Have you a support thing or something? I do. I'll just bring it back in. They've given me a thing. It's got like this hard or foamy plastic thing, and it has to push in. I've got a problem with a ligament, and it pushes in here. This is actually meant to be used for people with tennis elbow, but it seems to be working for me as well, even though I don't technically have tendonitis. So it's working. I'm happy. It means I can get some things done with less pain. It also means that, like with this guy here, it means that I will heal faster. So even though I'm doing a bit more, I will actually heal better as well. So it's not like I'm hiding the pain and masking it or something and then actually doing more damage, which I was concerned about. And they're like, no, it's all good. It's all good. Andrew says she started watching The Haunting of House Hill. I'm not doing so well with that. I saw the previews for that. I've got so many friends who are watching it, and they're all like, oh, you should totally watch it. And I'm like, but it looks so scary. I don't mind, like, cornball scary, but I cannot deal with, like, scary stuff that's supposed to be realistic. And so, yeah, I'm not good with that sort of stuff. But, well, no. I'm Amanda says, I only made it through the first 10 minutes of that before you scared yourself. See, that would be me. What would happen is I would need to go to the bathroom or something. I'd get up, I'd go to the toilet, and I'd see my reflection somewhere and just jump like 15 feet in the air. Totally. Can they bump the meeting even for half an hour? I don't know. I'm going to ask. I haven't asked yet. So I'm sure it might be doable. But it could make... half an hour would make a huge difference, I think. Yay for less pain and more crochet. Absolutely. I'm loving it. I'm totally loving being able to crochet longer, and I'm loving that I can work longer and get things done. Because the other thing was, even just mouse clicking does the same muscles and uses all the same... Oh, hang on, careful Chantel, you're clicking on things. So mouse clicking. Ferry says, I'm all about the scary. I'll have to check that out. Thanks, Andrea. Yeah, scary. Hi, Adobe Designs. Let me have a look here. There's still episodes of Supernatural I can't watch. I want to watch... Look, I have a confession to make. Are you ready? It's a television confession. It's nothing too scary or terrible. I love the idea of Supernatural. I was like an X-Files girl, like when they were on TV like 11,000 years ago. And I missed the start of Supernatural, so I never sort of just jumped in mid-season. Now I've got to catch up on, like, 11 seasons, and I'm a bit overwhelmed, and I really just need to sit down and watch from episode 1 so I know what's going on, because those first seasons always tell you everything you need to know. But I've really got to get, like, I don't know, I really just got to just sit and do it. I've got to do it. Because it looks like something I would love, and I just haven't watched it because I haven't seen any of it. Well, I tried to watch a season a while ago, and then I got sidetracked and I was sick and stuff, so I didn't really take it in, so I want to start again. Does knitting hurt less than crochet? No, they all hurt the same. Gamer Widow is off. Bye, Gamer Widow. Have a great day. Sally says, I've only got to season 4 in Supernatural. She watches it on Stan. I'm just going to buy the discs, honestly. I'm not going to subscribe to another networky thing just for one show. Some people seek out the ultimate roller coaster. I seek out the ultimate horror movie. I know I'm weird. Hubs reminds me of that often. See, I like weird stuff rather than horror, if that makes sense. And so, like, I liked Fringe, and I liked Warehouse 13, and Eureka, and all those sorts of shows. My husband never got into those. He's like, I don't like your weird shows. So I'm like, okay, that's okay. We don't have to like the same TV shows and be married. There was nothing in our marriage contract that stated we had to watch the same things on television. So that's really lucky, because otherwise we'd be done. Because I don't watch Game of Thrones. He likes Game of Thrones. And been enjoying, is it Ozark? I don't get into Ozark. So we've got stuff we don't love at the same time as we do both love things like Blacklist and other shows that we both like. We talk about some random stuff in this chat. We really do, don't we? We all have craft in common, but then we always end up talking about something else. I actually think it's wonderful, personally. I don't know if some of you find it frustrating that we don't just talk craft constantly, but I love just having conversation. I think it's fantastic. Andrea says she loved Warehouse 13. Oh, I thought it was the best show. I was so sad when it got axed. Andrew says I watched it for the first time the other day and I hid behind a cushion for most of it. Good morning, Denise. Hello. Vikings is back on. I've seen, I saw the first episode. I enjoyed it. I've just got to get into it. Linda says I like sci-fi better than horror. Me too. Oh, I am such a sci-fi nerd. I was sitting down this last couple of days because, you know, before I went to physio and could get this, I was starting to go a bit doolally, and I had to think of some things to do that didn't involve craft. And so I was actually going through and rewatching all the Star Wars movies in order and stuff like that. So, yeah. Amanda says I couldn't make it through the American Horror Story season that was about Roanoke either. I'm a bit of a wuss. Look, I tried to watch American Horror Story. I didn't get through the first season. I think through like 2 episodes and just went, nope, I'm out. I'm out. When the cleaner looks young and old to different people, I was just like, ew, no, gone, out. My husband and I don't watch TV together. He watches sport more than anything else and doesn't like my TV shows. That's a bit like my husband, Sally. Loves his sport. I have seen Lucifer. I am enjoying it. I'm a bit behind, but I am enjoying it. Tammy's got to run. Bye, Tammy. Have a great day. So yeah, it's I enjoy Lucifer. Marion says I'm a stereotype. I love a good British murder. Do you know what? Midsummer Murders is one of my all-time favorite TV shows. I have been buying the there's these, I think Sanity call them chocolate box DVD sets, and they're in this sort of like longish, narrow thing, like a chocolate box, and there's 4 seasons in each box, and they're like $60. And normally a season of Midsummer Murders is like $35 a season. So I've been slowly buying these. I've got 2 of them now. I think there's 2 more to get. But there's nothing quite like watching Barnaby go into a town and then watching half the town be murdered and then Barnaby work out who the murderer is. 2, 4, 6. Sally says, I didn't think I'd like it, but it was really good. Yeah, it's a bit like that. Naomi's waiting for Outlander. I'm not a big fan of Outlander. I tried to listen to the audiobooks and the narrator put me off. And the tunnel was great, wasn't it? It's one of the things I really love about Netflix is that we get some amazing content from other countries, and so while they're actually in English, it wasn't ever aired in Australia. It was like in Sweden and stuff like that, so that's really cool. I'm enjoying that. Marion says Midsummer must be the most dangerous place to live. So many murders. Look, I'm not kidding. If I was in the UK and I spotted a Barnaby of any shape, fashion or form walk into town, I would just pack my car and leave. I'm like, I'm out. Everyone's about to die. I'm out. Andrew says she couldn't get into Outlander. Look, I couldn't get into the book, so I haven't bothered with the TV series. So, yeah. Jackie says a good British murder is awesome. She's just watched a series called Loch Ness, set where else but Scotland. I actually really like Shetland as well. It's another sort of police procedural. I love a procedural. Nordic noir. I'll have to have a look at that as well. Sally says, I always say I wouldn't like to visit that country, but it looks so pretty. Yeah. And apparently the Korean soapies that are on Netflix are addictive as well. Father Brown's awesome. I love Father Brown. He's so good. Oh my gosh. Inspector Rex. Oh, is that still running? Like, honestly, I haven't watched it in, it'd have to be 10 years. It'd have to be 10 years since I watched Inspector Rex. I love that dog. He's so awesome. Marple is good. Yes, I like Marple as well. But I'm a bit fussy on my Marples. I don't enjoy all the Miss Marples. I've got I love Geraldine McEwen as Marple. There's another one that I do like, but Geraldine McEwen was my favourite. 2, 4, 6, 7. I went too far again, you guys. Look, we're nearly at the end. Like, seriously, this is the most I've gotten to work on this blanket in so long. I'm so excited. We're about to have to change colour. It feels like I've been working on this little tiny blue section forever. I mean, this blanket's still not going to be ready until, you know, next winter at the rate that I'm going. And I am going to have to stop and have a little crocheting break in a second. I can feel my arms starting to get a bit tired. Shetland rocks. It totally does. But I also know there's totally more seasons out there than what we're getting on Netflix. So, oh, hang on. You don't need to do 2 decreases in a row. It's just 1 decrease. Nordic noir mysteries set in Nordic countries, sometimes subtitled, but often in English. I'll have to have a look into that because I like the sound of that. What was it? There was a show. I can't think of what it's called. But there's basically like this task force put together of like cops from like an inspector from each side of the border, and it's a man and a woman, and they're like totally opposite, and it's really funny. And then he meets her mum and realizes, hang on a second, I've met this woman's mum before. Oh dear. So yeah, it's quite funny. I really like it. I'll have to find out the name, but I'll pop it into the Fiberific Fun Zone. Wallander is cool. Look, I found Wallander to be a little bit dark for me when I'm looking for a bit of like Midsummer Murders-ish kind of stuff. I'm after a bit of light-hearted, not too serious, well-lit stuff. I find that Wallander is shot a little dark for me. Like, I don't know, but I do like Wallander. But, yeah. And I also really like a blonde, curly-haired, oh my gosh, what's his name? Loki, the guy who plays Loki. My brain's just gone bleh. But he's like young and blonde in it, which is great. So yeah, it was like, wait, what? Marion says she likes the dark ones. I do too, but I have to be in a certain frame of mind for them. If I'm after like Midsummer's fluff, then I can't deal with the dark one at that moment. It doesn't work for me. So the other day I popped a post up on Facebook. Tom Hiddleston, thank you, Kim. Thank you, Kim. That was going to bug me. I popped a post up onto the Fiberific Facebook page, not the Fun Zone, but just the straight up page, asking everyone for techniques that they have always wanted to learn. I was trawling. I was totally trawling for ideas of videos to do as tutorials. But a lot of them are things I actually haven't done before myself. So they would be like, this is how I've learnt to do it, to kind of tutorials. Is that something people would be interested in? Like, I'm not great at this, but this is how I've learnt to do it. Or do you guys prefer to learn techniques from people that are like, I've got this down pat, I've been doing it for years, look how good I can do it and how good I can help you make you do it. So I get, like, for me, I quite often learn well from people that are still learning, but I know not everybody is like that. So if you let me know, that would be really good to know if you would be interested in learning as I learn along with the technique or not. So that would be helpful for me to know. 2, 4, 6. Kim had a dream about Chris Hemsworth the other night. So, okay, Kim. Is that all you're telling us? Great idea to learn with you instead of from you sort of thing. Yeah, because that'd sort of be like what it's like. That would be a pre-recorded video, but it would be a with me rather than me being all like, I know all the things. Marnie says, I think showing how you learned and where you struggled and what you learned is the best kind of tutorial. Oh, cool. All right. Thank you, Marnie. Andrew says everyone dreams about. I haven't, but you know, it could be because in my brain he's a baby. He's such a little baby. He's so young. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Well, you should do live sessions so we can all do it together. Look, if I was going to do something like that, Kim, I honestly would have to say it would probably be with the Patreons. Because I would be watching the chat as well, and I wouldn't be able to do that with with a busy chat running. It would only be able to really cope with it if it was smaller, like a smaller group. If that was the case, I could even set it, like if I was going to do that, I would probably even recommend setting it up as a Zoom chat, if anyone would be interested in doing that. Ferry says, yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, but I couldn't figure out how to word it. Oh, there you go. Jackie says, yes, the why you do things certain way is good to know. Yeah, like sometimes I do things because that's the only way I know how to do it. And the second I learn another way, I'm like, hey, I like this other way better. Issy hits me every time I watch Thor. She says I'm cheating on Daddy. Oh my God. Yeah, Abby doesn't do stuff like that. So, I mean, what do you say when he comes on television for her to make you think that? Cindy says, I'd love to learn how to spin with a spindle. Is that a support spindle or a drop spindle? I don't do much with drop spindles. I know how to use one, and I've got some, but I don't. They're not my favourite. They're not my favourite. 2, 4, 6. We're nearly at the end of the row for colour changing goodness. Yeah, I agree with Kim, Andrea. Stop licking the screen in front of your kids. It's weird. 2, 4, 6. Oh dear. Alright, well, we will have more of a discussion on that. We've got some ideas in the background that's going on for our future retreat and getaway. We've got some ideas, which is in the discussion that I have after this one. We're talking about that at the moment to try and set it all up. We're all looking at venues and things like that. So that would be cool. Oh dear. Kim does know you too well, Andrea. She does. Totally. But yeah, so I'll have a look into doing some tutorials of me learning things, and then all the way I will also be discussing a possibility of doing a live learn session together with the Patreons. So to give you guys who support me that way a bit of a, you know, you gotta get some perks out of it, right? You gotta make it perk worthy. Speaking about getting away, crafters tonight. Yes, there is caffeinated crafters on tonight at the Bowen Hills. Oh my God. No. Caffeinated craft. I'm just going to start again. Like if this was a pre-record, I would literally cut that bit out and start again. So tonight, caffeinated crafters will be at the Village Square Browns Plains Coffee Club from around 6 p.m. onwards until they kick us out. I'm not sure if I'm going to have Abby or not with me again tonight, so if I do, I have to scamper early because it's a school night. But we will see. We'll see. I just don't want to buy a wheel unless I find that I like spinning. Cindy, I'm going to be really honest with you. Wheel spinning and spindle spinning are totally different, and the people that say you need to learn on a spindle first are dum-dums. It's totally different skills involved. I actually find wheel spinning to be way easier. I learnt on a wheel before I ever learnt on a spindle. I think the only real thing that you learn that you can put from a wheel to a spindle is drafting. That's it. And even then it's different on a wheel because you're not having to hold the spindle and control the spindle. It's a lot easier. So Cindy, if I was you, I would actually hire a wheel from your local guild. Kim says, tell us how you really feel. Yeah, sorry. I would try and get hold of someone at a local spinning guild and see if you can hire a wheel for a couple of weeks. Or if you have a friend who's a spinner who would lend you a wheel. Most of us have multiple. If you were local to me, I'd totally lend you one of my wheels so that you could have a go. But yeah, I would certainly not be comparing spindle spinning to wheel spinning, but that is my opinion. Some people feel very much the opposite. So yeah, but yeah, that's what I... Shintamani says, I found spindle was easier after I learnt on a wheel. There you go. So Chimtamani is an amazing spindle spinner. She's been at it, not for too long, I don't recall, but doing beautiful yarn. 2, 4, 6. But if your end goal is to learn on a wheel, I would make that your not end goal. You should set up a wheel for the Christmas party at the shack. I totally will be. Absolutely. Jennifer P says, I learned on a spinning wheel a lifetime ago. Too easy, but I really struggle with stupid spindles. There is a reason why they are called drop spindles. Exactly, which is why I use supported spindles, because I drop spindles so much. It's so frustrating. Marion says that she's the other way. She is glad she started with a spindle. It really helped her learn about drafting. Tamantha learnt on a wheel, still struggle with spindles, but it doesn't stop me from buying them. I know that feeling. I have more spindles than a person needs, and I have no intention of stopping buying them. I love them. They're lollies. Marnie says, I wish I had the money and the space for a spinning wheel. They can be pricey, especially if you're looking at new ones, but don't forget lots of second-hand stores sell them off really cheap. I don't know about for you guys in the US, but over here you can pick up an old Ashford Traveller for like $50. A new Ashford Traveller is more like $800. So to put that into perspective, personally I'm a Margecraft girl, but when you're learning, I didn't I didn't learn on a Margecraft. I learnt on a traditional wheel, so because it was I actually got to use one for free. So I'd hired one through my local guild for like $5 a week for a couple of months, and then I got lent one by a friend, and it was like one of those I'm never using it, so you can use it until you save up for a wheel kind of jobs. It was great. Spindles are non-fattening lollies. That's exactly right, Marion. And Jackie, I agree with you as well. Buying and using craft equipment are totally two different hobbies. That is the exact same as buying and using craft supplies, yarn and fibre. Two different hobbies. So did we ever find out, I can't remember who it was, someone wanted to talk about stash management. Did we work out if she wanted to learn how to like record it and keep an eye on what was in her stash versus how to store it? Kim says buying and using Mystery Lace Club boxes. Yes, Kim, you're an absolute curator of these things. I just have to check. Snowy just started barking all of a sudden, so I'm just going to pop off camera for a second. Hang on, I can't get out. Oh no, she's stopped. There's no one there, and I'm just, hang on, I pushed, oops, pull my thing in, weak, there we go. But yes, she was, here we go, hang on a second. There was a lady spinning on a drop spindle at the craft show on the weekend in between customers. She was surprised I knew what she was doing. Did you drop some magic words like rollags at her, Kim? Jennifer P was the stash management person. I'm happy with the discussion of either or both. Okay guys, so do you use any apps to let you know what's in your stash, or do you pop it into a Ravelry queue, or do you just sort of have it just stacked away and then realize when you buy something you've already bought that before? I am the latter. I have to confess, there is no stash management going on at my place. Honestly, there is. Is that yarn on sale? Yes, it is. I shall have it. There's lots of that going on, but there is not a lot of anything in remotely resembling forethought. I don't personally use any apps, but I've seen some amazing apps where people keep it in their phone so that when they're at a yarn store, they can be like, I've got this colorway in this dye lot number, but I don't have it. Sally says nope. Have it all stashed away in big tubs. Andrew says I have it all hidden. It's like Christmas when I find something. Ravelry has a section where you can record your stash, and then it will suggest yarns for patterns when you're looking for them. Absolutely. The advantage of putting things into your Ravelry stash is when you go to add your Ravelry project, you can actually just add yarn from your stash, and as you use it up, it'll reduce it out of your stash as well. So I really like that. I think it's a cool tool. I started using it, and then I was embarrassed by how many things I was having to take photos of and put in the Ravelry stash pages, and stopped because, yes. Kim says I don't track my stash. It makes it easier for me to buy stuff, and I don't have to say I already have that. Yeah, sometimes putting a stopper on yourself is not what you want to do. Lindsay says I try to remember what I have in my stash. It's a hot mess. And Amanda says people organise their stash. Leanne says I'm too lazy for lists. I do try to take a look now and then at what I have or write down per project. I do try to run my projects through Ravelry, but I don't always. Kim says that being said, there's an app called Stash to Go that links to Ravelry, and it has a barcode scanner so you can scan the balls to add them, but I'm not sure how comprehensive the database is. The disadvantage of Ravelry is that everyone can see how much you have. Absolutely. Absolutely. Is there a way to hide? I don't think there is a way to hide it if you put it on Ravelry, is there? So yeah, that's definitely a good point. If you don't want people to know what's in your stash. Oh, Zoe's just bolted past again. We'll see what's going on there. Andrew says I'm not organised enough to use apps. Tamantha says, me too, I tend to get a bit paralysed by a yarn in one, fluff in another. Mountie says she organises by the weight, but my stash is not that big. I do try to have that in my crates. I have all my yarn in plastic crates. Well, the goal is to have all the yarn in plastic crates. Sometimes it's just in a bag on the floor, or hanging off a doorknob, or hanging off the back of a chair. Yeah, that definitely happens. But the plan is for them to go into the crates, and my crates I have organised by what's acrylic and what's not, and then by weights in both those things. You guys have heard me say this before, I'm a firm believer that acrylic does have a place. I personally have, this is probably the first blanket that I've made out of wool. I normally make my blankets out of acrylic or cotton. I make all stuffed toys out of acrylic or cotton. Or out of acrylic. I don't generally use cotton for those. If I've got some wool scraps, I'll use some wool, but I'm not going to buy wool or top quality yarn to make a toy with. But I will buy a good quality acrylic for it. Yeah, and so I do. I divide it up by content and then weight is what I do for my crates. But again, I've just got them stacked in crates just because I can stack up high and they take up less space. So Jackie says for storage she currently uses big plastic tubs, yarn in one, fluff in another. Jackie says, but then I also had to select a small portion with me when I moved, so not a large stash on hand right now. Naomi says she's afraid of moths getting in her yarn. I would recommend if it's an actual, like if it's something that you've seen happening or you're seeing moths float around, toss your yarn in the freezer for a little while. Then because that'll overnight, and then you can pull your yarn out. Any moths will be dead. But you can also pop in cedar chips and things like that into your crates. I think lavender works as well, but you do need to remember that some people are allergic to this stuff. So if you de-stash, you have to remember to to say being stored with. And whatever you do, never ever put mothballs in with your yarn. The stench never ever 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 leaves, ever. Sally says she's just had to buy another tub for all her knit crate yarn. There you go. Lindsay says, if it's yarn for a specific project, I keep it together in an organza bag and put paper inside with the pattern name. Random unspoken for yarn is on shelves. Jackie says, I prefer not to use acrylic, but there are definitely times where acrylic is the best option, and there are some really nice ones these days. There really are. Like 10 years ago, the acrylic that was around was dodge. Like, it was the worst. Like, at least in Australia. I don't know about you guys in the US, but in Australia, we had the worst acrylic. Like, I was a total pauper and had to buy acrylic. I had no choices. If I wanted to craft, I was using acrylic. And it was just the choice that I had to make. So I had to use, and it was hard and scratchy, and it didn't soften up when you washed it. And it really took my passion away for a little while, because I saw like the Bendigo balls and the stuff. I just squeezed a Bendigo ball. I saw these Bendigo balls, and at that point I just couldn't quite afford it. Not for just stash enhancement. If I had a particular project and it was only a ball or two, yes, I could warrant it, but other than that I couldn't. And so acrylic was really good for that. But now, even for the same sort of prices as 10 years ago, $2-3 a ball, you're getting a much nicer acrylic than you did, honestly. Ferry says, I donate the things I make, so they have to be acrylic, and even a touch of wool makes me break out, so there's that as well. Exactly right. People's reactions to different things. For me, it's I can't deal with lavender. I'm totally allergic to lavender. I can't deal with jasmine, but anything with a strong smell, which I'm a bit stuffed up at the moment because it's spring here, and so there's all our plants are flowering, and it's killing me. Jackie says, I think naphthalene, the mothball stuff, is a petrochemical. It is, yes. It's not good. Don't use it. It's horrible. And people with asthma cannot utilize whatever it is that you've made near it, because I have asthma as well. So yay for all the things that make me sick. Leanne says cloves. I've made cute little chickens with cloves in them to sit around my craft room to deter moths. Absolutely. Cloves work great. Jackie says cloves are good for mold as well. Actually, it actually kills the spores. I did not know that, Jackie. I knew it was good for moths. I remember when I was in primary school, like young, I don't remember exactly which year, but we were making Mother's Day projects, and we had to wrap an orange with a ribbon and tie a knot in it and hang it, and then just poke cloves and like basically cover this orange with cloves. And I swear to God, my mum had that thing for ages. Like, I thought, like, either she was remaking them for herself, which if you knew my mum, that's probably not what happened. But yeah, it lasted for, I swear it was years, this thing. I don't know if it should have lasted for years, but it totally lasted for years. And I didn't even think about that. Ferris says, I remember the oranges and the cloves too. Yeah, it's one of those things that they get you to make at school. Andrew says, I have some Huon pine blocks from Tassie in my cupboards, and that keeps all the bugs away. Absolutely, Huon pine is awesome for that. I didn't know cloves deterred ants. I've got a big jar of cloves around. I might pop a couple on a bench. At night, you guys, I've got this one bench, right, and I'm keeping it scrubbed clean. There's no ant food at all. And I've noticed these really massive ants. Like, that. They don't try and attack me or anything like that, but there's like 6 of them. And they just run around this bench, and if you turn the light on, they run away. But they're definitely coming in at night, and I don't know what they're going for. I can't see them eating anything, actually. But I'm going to put some cloves around and see if it gets rid of them. I don't like it. Chintamani burns clove oil in an oil burner because she loves the smell. Oh, there you go. Oh, where is Fiberific Mum today? No idea. She may have forgotten that we were even on. And also it's Thursday, so she could be out shopping. So, you know, I'll tell her that she was missed. So she loves being Fiberific Mum. Pomander. Is that what the cloves and the oranges are called? Pomanders? I'm not sure. I don't know. And roll the orange and cinnamon. I don't think we did that. I don't remember doing that. But yeah. I have those two carpenter ants. God, I hope they're not carpenter ants. Carpenter ants like are destructive, like they're as destructive as termites. I mean, they don't eat the wood, but they burrow into it to make their houses. Oh, okay, a pomander is the clove and orange thing. Thank you, I had no idea. So yeah, it's one of those things. Where are we? What time are we at? 11:18. So how has this stream gone today, guys? Like, you find, like, other than like this color being a bit off on this, which I can work on that. That's a different problem. That's got to do with the settings in the camera here. But I couldn't sort it out in the time frame I had once it crashed and had to. Well, it wasn't a total crash, but anyway. Cinnamon adds a little extra holiday flair. Stop looking at the time. I have to look at the time. I had like alerts come up on my phone, like, hey, you've got another thing you've got to be doing. Let's change colour. I've got some skizzers. Skizzers, beep. Time to change. I was so hopeful that we would change colours. I actually pulled the grey out. Like, I had it out of the bag, ready to go. I've just got to wrap this around. It's a bit of a mess. Hang on. Beep, 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 beep. Tuck that in there. Pull some, oh man, that's a centre pull bath. Centre pull bath, look at that. You just pull it out and you've got a knots and nightmare. Knots and nightmares. Alright, let's go. I've got to turn this around. Okay. Join on the new colour. Where's your end? I've lost your end now. Aren't I a professional? I am a professional lady. Everything's been good on this end. Great streaming, no interruptions. Stream has been excellent. And the quality of everything is okay. Because that's a big thing. Like, you know, if we get the streams going but then the quality is just not fantastic, that would disappoint me. Is that Bendigo wool? Yes, it is. I'm using... Let's go with new words today, shall we? I'm using the Bendigo Luxury 8-ply, I believe. Let me just double check. I know it's Bendigo Luxury. I'm just double checking it's 8-ply. Yes. 8-ply. This grey is licorice sorbet. It's lovely to work with. It's such a nice grey. You could probably go and have a look on the Bendigo website and check out what colour grey this really is versus what you're seeing on the camera here. I'll pop it there as well. So it's like nearly a smoky colour. I quite like it. I think it's great. And then the other colour I'm working on is this lovely colour. Don't know what it's called. I think it's Arctic. I don't have a tag handy. I don't think. I lied. I do have a tag. And it's not Arctic, it's called Peppermint Sorbet. So licorice and peppermint is what Abby's blanket is. So she'll be loving that. Let me have a look here. Okay. Alright, we're joined on. We got the next colour going. Jackie says she had to adjust the resolution so it didn't buffer, but after that no problems. Did anyone else get to Fiberfest in Singleton last weekend? I did not. I didn't get to go. Did you get a shade card with the cotton yet? I thought they were going to post them. I haven't seen one that I know of. They'll probably wait till after their sale when they bring out the new colours. Andrea says that she loves the luxury. I made my auntie a blanket using their luxury and I loved every minute of making it. Absolutely. Oh, these are wool. Let me just double check the tag. These are 100% wool from Bendigo Woolen Mills. Yeah. So 200 gram balls. And they're like, what are they, like $14 a ball or something for 200 grams? I'll pay that. Absolutely. So yeah, for sure. I'd pay that in a heartbeat. Jackie says, I love the sound of that. I need to find some actual licorice sorbet. I'm totally sure it's out there. I've seen it, I swear. Love licorice. Daigo's making some coffee. We have to be fast, Daigo. The stream's ending soon. Sounds, good grief, that would taste nasty. I don't know. I reckon it would be alright. Like, I mean, you'd obviously have to like licorice. Like, if you didn't like licorice, nothing is going to work. Jackie says their prices are very good. They are. They're very good. And their cotton's on special at the moment, isn't it? Let me think. Some of their colours, not all the colours, but some of their colours are down to $11 a ball, for $11 Australian per ball for 200 gram balls. Like, hello, I'm in. I'm organising the colours for next year's house blankets. We all have blankets on our laps in the house, and keep us toasty, and we love it. So I do knock up new ones fairly often, and then Snowy gets the old ones. Sally doesn't like licorice. Well, then I don't think you're going to like licorice sorbet, honestly. Like, that's my thing. Andrew says, I was thinking the mint and licorice together would be yuck, but I love licorice. Oh yeah, oh no, I wouldn't eat mint and licorice together. Ooh, yuck. Blech, no, out. I'm out. Andrew says there's a place in the Goldie and they sell all kinds of sorbet. Last time they were there, they had a VB flavour and a Red Bull flavour. Yuck. Marion says Daryl Lee licorice. Oh my god, soft eating licorice. Look, I love all kinds of licorice. The Daryl Lee soft eating licorice is delicious and I love it, but I also love the little Swedish hard squares of licorice as well that are really salty. I like both for different reasons, like, yeah, for different stuff. Excuse me. Andrea says she only has 10% on her battery. Oh my gosh, Andrea. Like, seriously, what were you thinking? Dargo made it back before the stream ended. Good job. I heard Daryl Lee is coming back. Daryl Lee, like, as in they're getting their own shops back again. Because they've been in, like, Woolies and Coles and post offices forever. They never shut down. They just shut their actual stores down. They didn't shut down manufacturing. My son only eats the salty one. Ew. 2, 4, 5. Yeah. Look, I like the salty one. Noosa Chocolate Factory bullets are the bomb. Well, I think they're actually bullets. But anyway, yes, I love bullets. Does everyone know what bullets are, like, in this chocolate discussion that we're having? They are a licorice coated with chocolate. They're delicious. The famous Daryl Lee confectionery brand is re-emerging and will set up a chocolate centre of excellence in Melbourne's southeast. Yeah, see, it sounds like they're bringing back retail stores, or at least one retail store. And yeah, like, you know, it's one thing, they had all their own stores, and then they went into receivership, and all those stores got closed, they lost all that staff, and then they basically just chucked it on the shelves at Woolies and Coles to keep it going. So, new people bought the company and they're going gangbusters. Yeah, they absolutely are. So, I still get Tim, like a Daryl Lee dad bag. So, at Father's Day, they have these, they're brown paper bags with, like, dad bag printed on it. And it's got bullets and caramel snows and those giant Jaffa balls. And, you know, he loves it. Loves it. So, yeah, you guys that are not in Australia may not know what we're talking about. We might actually have candy that you don't know about. Sally loves the white chocolate and raspberry bullets. See, Sally, here we go. Add this. We're going to add something to my list of pet peeves. I love the raspberry bullets, and I love that raspberry licorice. It's not licorice. It's just been pumped through the same extruders. It's totally just raspberry lollies, which I love. But they shouldn't call it raspberry licorice because it's not licorice, because licorice is a thing. It's a particular thing. Anyway, and they do it with the green apple too, which also I like. But it shouldn't be called licorice. 2, 4, 6. So if it's not licorice, it's not licorice. I don't know those candies. Yeah, sorry guys. We're talking about stuff that, you know, is a bit location based. But that's exciting that they're coming back and they're doing good. I'm a bit lollied out actually. I may have eaten a few lollies out of the trick-or-treaters bucket last night that I had set up because we didn't get heaps of trick-or-treaters, so I was like, one for you and one for me, one for you and one for me. And so I had some little cherry ripes and some little boost bars. What else was in there? Sour trolley lollies, strawberry Twizzlers. See, I've heard about Twizzlers. Twizzlers one of those things that people either love it or hate it. And I think strawberry Twizzlers are like our raspberry. Oh, they're chewier, I think, if I recall correctly. But it's like a similar idea as the raspberry licorice. It's not actually licorice, it's a raspberry flavoured lolly. And obviously there'd be the strawberry versus raspberry discussion, but, you know, things. Sally says we get one of those for my dad every year. Oh, there you go. So there you go. No plans are in place to set up Darryl Lee branded shops or to open up the centre of excellence to the public. Oh, okay. Well, that's dumb. I don't know why they're doing it then. Same texture. Oh, yep. Cool. Cool. Oreo cookies. I don't like Oreos. I'm that person. I don't like Oreos. I don't like the cookie and I don't like the cream. I think the cream is too sweet and the cookie is weird. But Abby loves Oreos, and so I buy her Oreos because she likes them. Those little tiny mini ones she likes especially. To me, they just taste sweet. They don't taste chocolatey at all. Anyway, I'm getting hungry, you guys. You're making me so hungry. Ah. With all this food talk, 2, 4, 6. I did 7 again. But look at this. We got through the blue. Oh, sorry. I didn't realise I was out of the camera shot there. We got through the blue and we're into the grey again. And, you ready for it? Wrist isn't hurting. So that is cool too. Tim Tams. Yes, I love Tim Tams. Tim Tams are good. I don't like all Tim Tam flavours though, Kim. Just to put that out into the world. I don't think all Tim Tam flavours are good. I like lots of them, but I don't think they're all good. Ferry says, I love the cream out of the middle, but the cookie has to be drowned. Absolutely. I love drowning cookies. Do you know what I especially love doing? I love ginger nut biscuits. They're an Arnott's biscuit. I don't know if they're a particular thing to Australia. Do you guys have ginger nut biscuits? They're like little round spicy ginger biscuits with a little sprinkling of, I'd say, sugar. I'm assuming it's sugar. On the top of them, and they're quite crisp. I love getting those and dipping them in icy cold milk. Like, my favourite. That is, I'm so sad, they're just a dry biscuit and I like them so much. So much. Chintamani says the original Tim Tams are the bestest. I agree with you, Chintamani. They really are the best. Jackie doesn't like the chocolate on Tim Tams. There you go. You have ginger snaps. Are they? I'll have to have a look up what ginger snaps are and I'll see if they're the same. They probably are. Very likely to be the same. But yeah, I absolutely love them in cold milk. Ginger nuts are the best, but not as good as when they were teeth-breakingly hard and you had to soak them in milk to eat them. Sally says she has to smash them because she can't bite into them. I dip them in milk. The other thing that I do with ginger nuts or ginger snaps is, you know, the little patty cans with like the little indents for your cupcakes rather than like the muffin tins. I put a ginger nut on each one, face side down, so you've got the bottom of it up, and then I spray it with a bit of water and toss it in the oven on like a low heat for about 10 minutes, and then I pull it out of the oven, and like the cookie's got a bit soft, so you get the back of a spoon and push it in, and then pipe caramel and cream. I'm not this big for a reason. I just dropped my hook. Where did my hook go? Luckily for me, my hook landed in this bag, so hopefully I can get it. No, did it not land in this bag after all? Where did it go? It's gone! No more crocheting for me until I get up, and then I just kick this out of the way as well. So there we go. Yeah, it's a bit yum. My auntie taught me how to make it. Yep, topped with caramel and cream. Absolutely. Chocolate ganache is also good. Okay, I will try that as well. That would work for me for sure. Anyway, you guys, on that note, I'm starving hungry and I have no ginger nuts or chocolate biscuits in the house. Leanne, you should make some. Next time the boys come over, you should totally make some. Okay, so I'm going to go, you guys. It is time. I've really thoroughly enjoyed this stream, and not just because of our awesome conversations that we've had, but also because it worked, which is just a nice treat for us because it doesn't happen that way all the time. I'm really happy that I got to crochet and I'm not in pain. So many good things about today's live stream. If you guys want to come and join us over in the Fibrific Fun Zone and continue the conversations on over there, jump on, if Kim can toss in a link, otherwise just go to Facebook and search for Fibrific Fun Zone. You can join in that way. So you can come in, oh sorry, Kim can't put a link in because her laptop crashed. Sorry, Kim. But yeah, just go to Facebook and search for the Fibrific Fun Zone and come and join us over there. It's mostly just people who've been in the live chat at some stage or another, and we just continue on the discussions and encourage each other. If you want to support me over on Patreon, by all means, I will happily accept your support, and I will continue to make good content, especially for you guys who go that extra mile for me. I'll go the extra mile for you as well. So on that note, I'm going to run away. I need to go and grab a refill on my coffee and get ready for my next task of the day. So you have a fantastic weekend. I'll see those of you tonight that I'll see, and the rest of you I'll see next week. Bye.